How's it going, guys? Alright. Starting a little bit early tonight, so we'll see if anybody can make it out. I had a little bit of time beforehand, so I wanted to go ahead and get this going. You know, things can get busy and you end up missing. You end up not doing it or getting tired. I didn't get to do it yesterday. It was my anniversary, so instead of doing that, or instead of doing a show, spend some time with my wife, which is always a nice thing to do. So had a good day. First Whiskey Wednesday, I guess we can call it something like that. Hope you guys traded well. Had a good day. I thought it was a fantastic day. We had some nice price movement. I'm going to talk a little bit about that and why we'll talk a little bit about that and the different names that I traded. I was exhausted today, but for some reason involving children, but overall I was still good and we managed to catch a couple of trades and call them out. So hopefully that helped you guys that are in chat and that saw them and took them. So cheers, my fellow bandits. Okay, so let's take a look in case you don't know. Per like every day right now, all the time, names or stuff are posted prior to the market opening, and I also talk about them in a Zoom call in the morning, which the link is posted in the Discord description. If you ever want to join in, ask questions, or share your own ideas, you're more than welcome to come in. Kind of a community run event type thing. So what I am looking at today, the first name we looked at was Microsoft. The whole market was gapped down. U.S. credit rating, obvious news out there. If you trade, you know about it. I don't think I need to give you an example. First name I typed out was Microsoft. So what I've been looking at in these names, if you go back a couple of days and you look at everything, are you see these ranges. So you can see like ranges. If you're to throw up in one big range. Okay, so what do I see when we open up? We are at the bottom of that range. We are right here. I don't remember exactly where we are on pre-market, but we opened up right here, at this area. So I got to do a different color, and you'll see why this is important and why this level, we'll just go green so you guys can see it. All right, so where are we opening up? We are literally opening up at the bottom of a range. So what happens if you break down? You're probably going to go lower and start testing lower. And so I expect if we can't get above this, that we're going to break down and start testing the lower parts of this. And you can go back out to hourly, to daily stuff in the background. And I did not call it down to 27. So what I said was if we can't get above $34 early, 334, I'll look for a short into 331 and 329.50 if we can't get back above 334. If we can, sorry. So that was a short idea. If we can get above 344, I'll look for a move to 338. I would look to take profits around 336 on a pop. So the idea on a pop was it comes in here, it comes back up to where we've had some failures, where we've got a lot of bounces. So the idea was if we caught a bid, which obviously didn't happen, that I would look for the pop back into the top of this range around 36 and 38, and then I expected us to roll over there, but that obviously never came. Instead, we zoom out and we look, and I actually did not put the entire bottom of this range at 27 in. I said 29.50. 29.50 was just around this candle. The daily 727, 329 was that level. I made the target just slightly above that. For me, that was an anchored VWAP. This anchored VWAP from 425. That was down here at the bottom. So I thought I didn't want to call the full extreme, but there's a good chance that if Microsoft sold off, you're going to test the bottom of this range. That's your next support point when you're just looking at it, and you've been in a range for this long. You're gapping at the bottom of it, 334 if you can't get above it. So for ways to trade this one, Microsoft was actually difficult early. It was more of a grind, and if you traded this one, to me, as far as entries, you just had to understand what was happening, what the market was doing, and just see that you had this nice hard sell off. You could not get back into the range, hard rejection, and then you have this green candle, your second 2-minute bar. Top of that's 33.08. An easy way to trade that is to take the breakdown or to buy a 1-minute breakdown in the middle of it if you're looking for something tighter. and then put a stop above that 2-minute candle. Something like that would be a strategy or a way to trade this. You just have to give it room and realize what's happening, realize that it's not going, or that it's not catching a bid and it's just going lower. Have your stop in place and then let the trade ride to target. Take profits along the way like you're supposed to, at wherever your risk reward is. If you entered at the breakdown here and on this 2-minute candle, let's say this one or something like that, or you entered down here at like 32.15, your stop would need to be above 33, so you need to have at least $1 risk minimum, probably $2. I wouldn't say $2, but at least to the top of this candle. You could put that wherever you wanted to. So yeah, and take that, let it ride. You wouldn't have been up early. It would have been a little bit before you actually came into target, but we did end up coming all the way down, and this one hit much later in the day, around 11 o'clock. You came into past 29.50 and actually came down to 28.79, and then we actually went way farther than I thought, and we came all the way down to $26. So I didn't have that called. And I had left right around here when this market started coming up. My wife had to go to the gym, I think, and I had the kids, and they were being a little extra. I was tired, exhausted from last night, and ended up getting out of everything around here. They came to target, trade worked. You never know what's going to happen. You hang out longer in a day, you let the stuff set up, you break this low, you can easily get back in it. You could see a possible breakout and then failure to get above the 21 multiple times, easy short through the lows, and you could do something like this to get a target. I'm talking through it this way because I only put 4 names on, so I'm talking ways to possibly locate a trade, or to identify a trade and a setup and a target. That and that. So there you go. Multiple ways you could figure it out how you want to do it, but Microsoft, it worked. If I was looking at this thing that I posted, I would say check that the target's hit. The idea was good. It failed to get back into the range. You short it. Once it fails to get back into the range, set your appropriate stop loss and then let it go. The next name on my list was NVIDIA. NVIDIA, we had, if we can't get above 460, I'll look for it to roll over into 453, then 450. If we're really weak, 446 is in the cards. If we can't catch a bid at the open, you'll see, or if we can, sorry, if we catch a bid at the open, you'll see 461.50 and a gap fill to the top of the range around 469. So we opened up right around this anchored VWAP. So let's zoom out, see where we opened up at. Same kind of story. I moved that on accident. We opened up about, opening print was 58. You opened up at 58 near this, or on the bottom of this ascending channel, or this rising, whatever. And we instantly failed, like most names at the open. So instead of catching a bid, coming up to 61.50, testing this level, which was kind of what I was looking for if we were to catch a bid, to test that 61.50 to see if we can get up and hold this range, because you've got kind of a clear level here where we've been consolidating the last couple of days. So to me, when I'm looking at this, we gap below that. So what's going to happen right at the open is you're going to catch a bid and you're going to roll over like we did. You're going to catch a bid and test it and roll over. You're going to catch a bid and get into it, flag, and then fill the gap and then test the top of the range. That's how I look at it when I get up, so I just know what I'm looking for. And then as soon as the market gets going, it tells me what to do. So NVIDIA is one of the ones we shorted. Beautiful, paid the bills, went way down past target, but it was on the radar. Traded this one more than any other name today. Failed right at the open. Failed to catch a bid. Anchored VWAP, ascending channel line. It became resistance. It was support. 2-minute breakdown. You came in, you flagged, let's see the levels. I said if we can't get above 460, I would look for 453 early. You got 453.50 on, within 10 minutes of being open, consolidated, went down lower into 451. So definitely hit that right at the open. There's multiple ways you could have taken this 2-minute breakdown of this bar, nice big red bar, shooting star, second kind of inside bar, take that down. That's just on that is almost a 3-point play or something like that, and then consolidated up, failed to catch a bid above VWAP, and you came down, hit the 8, tagged the 2-minute 8, came down, and all the way down to $48. I waited. At this point, I got out. I was short. I was talking through this whole trade live for those of you who listened, and if you're watching and you watched that, you can drop a like, and I appreciate it. But we called that one out. I said that I got out of it when I got out, and I'd wait for the 21. We came back in, and around here, I was just watching it at the 21 and VWAP to see how it reacted. Never caught a bid. The market itself was looking weak. Didn't take any trades in here. And then towards this candle, I got in short around 51.10, and 51.13 was the low. I got in somewhere in that range. And then over here, the next one, it kind of did a little bit of a pop, but my stop was up above 52.80, 52.90. I was going to give it a little bit of room, and it never went. It broke down, and then I actually, let's see, when did I get out? Well, I wrote it all the way down to 46. So I think I got out a little after 11. I got out on this candle at 46.40, and then we had this little bit of a pop consolidation, and we went lower. If I would have stayed, I would have continued to trade this on, it was 11.30. I rode this all the way down to, I need to go back and look at my trades. Might have been this one here, 46.50, and it continued to go down. Let's see, what time did I say I left today? Let's look at Discord. 11:06. Yep. So I was gone at 11:06. That's when I had to go. So 11:04. So I got out on this candle, and had to go. Sadly, I missed the rest of this incredible down move. Congrats to you guys who continue to trade and caught it. I definitely did not want to leave, but duty calls sometimes. It's just the stage of life that I'm in. You got to do what you got to do, right? So beautiful hit, end of day. I was green. It hit the target I was looking for in the pre-market. So in zooming out, it did a lot more than that. You came in, you retraced all the way into the top of, let's throw a line there so I can see this. Right to the top of this, close to it. Might have a little bit more downside. Held that. So great sell-off. Beautiful short idea. Out the gate at the open. Granted, if you were short anything, it worked. So, and then bottomed, reversed, held at 21, 1, 2, and kind of a third leg. Flat. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Might get follow through, might get an inside day. It's not actually extremely consolidated nicely at the end of the day. We might have some fun in that one tomorrow. So that was the idea in the video, that it went short, took it short. We called out entries on that all day. It was a good time. It was a really fun short. Tesla, the opposite. So I took this one long as the market was going down. I took it long here. We called this one out too. I took it long on this candle, the red. Let's move my head out of the way. So let's take a look at what I said first. Big gap down, gonna watch for it to retrace the gap into the 38 and 50% retracements. That's fib levels. So if you don't know what that is, watch my video with Kelly. That to this. So I'm gonna watch for it to retrace into these fib levels and then look for a short. And then the price should be, and that price should be around, because I wrote this in the pre-market, 258. So I drew based on pre-market levels when I wrote it, where I thought the price was going to be at. I thought it was going to hit the 50% retracement around 58. It was probably a little bit lower, like down here when I said that. So, that was just a guess on where it would be at that time. Then it'll either top out or fill the gap to the upside. If we cannot catch a bid at the open and get above 256, we'll roll over into 251 and 248. So 251 and 248 was what I was looking for in the shorts. If we didn't go right at the open, I thought, like the other names, if it did not catch a bid, you would just drop right down into 251 and 248. We did not hit 248 today, so we'll take a look at this one. We played this one technically. Tesla is one of the ones I really enjoy playing, because it always likes to fill these gaps and come up to the 21 on these big gap downs. So we took this long on this candle, and we did not get shaken out. It came in, I had a lower stop. Thankfully, I had a stop that was down here. I did not get stopped out, ended up coming back up. I sold half into the 38% retracement around 57.68, and then I sold the other half at the 21, or the 50% retracement around 58.33, 58.40. So Gator, do you call? So I call out in Discord, and if I have time, I do it in Newsbeat channel. But I'm live in Discord. If you don't know, like, you're looking at Discord here, down here. There's this thing over here that says voice channel and trading room. Me, CT, and some others are live. You just click that, and it'll put you in the room. You just click it, and now you're live in it, and you can hear me talk. So every day when the market's open, I'm talking as I'm trading. As long as I'm working, I'm talking. And and then I'll type in the Newsbeat when I get the opportunity. But I am definitely in Discord, is definitely a lot faster. So we caught this, and then I actually took a short here, and I said I'm going to put my stop at like up here, and the stupid thing stopped me out. So I wasn't heavy in this yet. I was going to add to the trade. When we dropped, we didn't. It popped up, stopped me out, and then it rolled over beautifully. I wish it would have gone here. I would have absolutely loved to have murdered this, but instead I got stopped out, and I chased it. Dog. And I ended up chasing it down later in the day and made some money in it. But because it didn't act how I want, I took a loss in this one. I caught some later in it, but I did not catch. I caught a few small scalps in it, but this one wasn't one that was behaving how I wanted as far as other than this breakout. NVIDIA was short, Microsoft was short, and I think Meta too. There was a lot of names that were short that were working, so I didn't focus on this one. So fib indicator video, it's on the YouTube channel. I think it shows 68, something like that. Yeah, how did I set my stop on the first trade? Go to it and just look at Kelly. It's my most watched video, Jacob. So if you look at the one I did with Kelly, look at, let's go to my channel. Let me jump to the channel. So under my channel, there's ones that is like most popular videos. It's one of those, I think. If not, it's one I should definitely add there. It's a show in the 60s, and it says something like show 60s. It might not have that many. It definitely has the most things. I need to tag that video, but it's one of the shows in, that's one of the live streams shows that's 60, and it has Kelly's name in it. So I can post the link after it or look at it, but past live streams. One of you all let me know what it is, but yeah, it's back there. And for the Tesla short, I didn't know exactly where I wanted to put it, so I knew what my risk reward was, so I actually just got in this, and then I looked, and for a second I was going to put it below this, but I got stopped out yesterday on a trade that worked just a few pennies below, so I got in at like 56.40, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to give this a 2-point stop, and I just said 2 points. So my stop, show 40, oh, 60 is 41, Jacob? Or James? Okay, sorry, Jacob. It's 41. For some reason I thought 60. So James, thanks for saying it's 41, not 60. I don't know why I thought 60. So I put a 2-point stop on Tesla. That's how I did it. And I had a roughly, 2-point target to the upside. So the long target was 2 points to the upside. My stop was 2 points to the downside. And I took the long, there, and I had a basically 1-to-1 trade. It was like it was either going to work, and I was going to make 2 points, or my risk was the same as my reward on that trade. So it was a like 1-to-1 trade. I had a 2-point target and a 2-point risk, was how I judged that one, Colton. Did you get back in it on this? And I don't think this necessarily was a bad stop. Like, I almost moved it up to there. The reason I didn't was just I had, I don't know. I had that 2-to-2. Like, looking at a 58.40 target and buying it at 56.40, 2 points and 2 points was what I did. No, yeah, dude, I wouldn't have felt bad either. If I would have got stopped out on this, the moment it started coming back up here, I would have taken it again, 100%. I would have re-entered this without any hesitation. So I'm glad you made money in it. I'm definitely glad that you made some money in that one. It was a beautiful setup and trade back to the 21. I just hate that I got stopped out on this one. So this is one of those things when you're making a trading plan, you just have to accept. Yeah, I know, it was the opposite of him. He was like, I'm short. I'm like, dude, I'm not. I was trying to, I didn't want to like judge or do whatever I should call it out in the other room, but I didn't want to go opposite of him. So, but see, so this is the thing that I wanted to talk about this trade with a little bit more is when you're looking at this, like I did not get stopped out here, but I did get stopped out here. So, and my stop here was not as wide. Like I didn't have a 2 point stop here because I got in at like I front ran this a little bit and got in. I can't remember where I don't have my trades up in front of me. I got in closer to the top, like somewhere up here around the 21. Like it was around 58.27, and I had a tighter stop just above a level instead of like a full 2 points. And I still would have got stopped out, I think, at 2 points because this is 58. No, 2 points wouldn't have stopped me out. A 2 point stop, I would have been fine. A 2 point stop, I would have been fine. But my idea was if you take out the 21 and hold, you know, if we break above the 21, like I just had a smaller tight stop. So I think I added some and I actually took a second position. That's what I did. I took a quarter position and then I took another quarter position on this fail. And then I got stopped out here on my half position instead of just, so I wasn't super heavy yet. And I would have added again if we broke down because that would have confirmed the move. It didn't. I got stopped out, and you have to accept that. Like this is a losing trade. I called it out. I took it. It didn't work. So you do have to be careful and kind of understand what you did with your stops. I had a tight stop there. It would have worked a lot better if I would have stayed. If I would have, had the same 2 point stop that I had here. Instead, I just had, if it breaks this candle. And right here I had, if it breaks above the 21, and let's just say S1, I'm going to get out. So my stop was very small. This was a super small loss, and then ended up making it back in NVIDIA. But the first trade I had, it was, I had a 2 point stop based on 1R or 2R and 2 points of risk. And on the second one, I just had a level without that risk. And so it's kind of interesting when you, on that. Do what you want with that information. It obviously worked. You could have got back in it when it failed here. The market was weak. I was just in NVIDIA, and I had sized into NVIDIA. And NVIDIA takes up your buying power if you're using common because it's like $500 a thing. So if you're buying 1,000, shares, that's 500,000. So, if you're buying 2,000, you're at $1 million in buying capital. So you run out of extra capital. So it worked, but it did work later. That is where it rolled over. It didn't just straight sell off, so we didn't come in as hard. I drew this. I don't know that it's going to do this. Kind of depends on what the market does. What I see in Tesla is if I extended this out and looked at the price action in this range, there's a good chance that you're going to test the 40s really soon. Like I can see 42 happening this week for sure. I don't know if it's going to happen tomorrow, but just telling you, if Tesla opens up flat tomorrow, what I would be looking at is easily if we can lose those lows, is this move down to $42 tomorrow and testing the bottom of this gap range where we gapped up at. And the measured move takes you below that into this gap. So I would say you probably hit 35. So if I had to call a move in Tesla, I would say watch Tesla. If you can't regain this level and come back up to 68 or even fill what happened tomorrow and start catching a bit into the 60s, watch for it to roll over. You need to get above 55 and hold tomorrow. If you don't get above 55 and hold and you bear flag out here or you mess around here, there's a good chance you go down and we start this down move towards $40 and $33. I'm not saying trade on it. I'm not saying what to do. I'm just saying you're at the bottom of a range. You came out. We hit a big anchored VWAP from all the way back here. So one from like early June on this big pullback, and you hit that, you got a bounce, and now let's see, we're testing the breakdown. Tesla had this big bounce at the open. They tried to hold it up, they pushed it, they failed on the next one, on the next hourly candle, and we came in, and now we consolidated. So let's see if we can consolidate and hold and catch a bid. If not, I'm looking for Tesla short to kind of be a good short name for the next couple days, if not the next week or so. You probably get support around 48. There's not a lot of volume at price there, so really $42. I'll have to zoom out and do a little bit of chart work. So those are the 4 names that I did. Did I miss a question? I'm glad you faded the top, Con. I mean, that's what I was looking at. That's pretty much what I've done today. Sadly, I had to leave early. I didn't get to. Oh wait, no, I had Meta. Sorry guys, one more name, Meta. I don't know what I'm talking about. Meta. I said lots of support between 316 and 315. Let's go in, which has been the gap. Like, you're basically just looking at this. So lots of support between 316, 315 in this area, a lot of support. So I wasn't necessarily looking to short it right there. If we pull in and hold those levels, I would look for a pop and a move to 320. Here's where I was wrong. This was kind of assuming we popped here and the market bounced, you would come back up and hold 320 and test the 320 level. Instead, you just took all day. I mean, Meta did hold up compared to the rest of the market. We wedged and we just eventually broke down. The market came off. This name couldn't hold up. You have a nice descending tops line. If you played, I did not play Meta, I don't think. I did call it at one point, I think, but I didn't play it. You have a descending tops line. You could draw early in the morning after the second high. Once it fails to get above it on the third one, the 21 caught up to you. You know, there's a short opportunity. That's how I would look to trade that. Names that hold up when the market's going. Usually, what I look for if I'm not trading other stuff and in stuff is pivots I can take. So lower high. You know, we did come in a little bit. You tested support, so my support was right. As far as between 316 and 315.50 was a level I said. 315.35 bounced. You had a double bottom at 64 cents. We bounced up, lower pivot high, came back in, tested the bottom, bounced again, failed to get above. You're just wedging, wait for the breakdown, or you can short at the top of that if you want to. Do something like that if you want to. Once you break below it, then you're just looking for buy setups to take you down to the lower targets. And my lower targets, what did I say? Okay, so if we pull in and hold those levels, I would look for a pop and a move into 320. If we pop early and can't get above, so this is like talking through the different options. If we pop early and can't get above 320, so if we pop right at the open, this is kind of what I thought, I think in Tesla or some of those other names in the video, like if we pop up and this is resistance and you can't get above that, if you catch a bid at the open, I would look for a short in at 314. If we sell off hard, I would look for 310. And then I said if you break out from 320, you'd go to 325. We ended up coming into 310.94, 72 on the day, 310.85, 310.85. So, and there's an anchored VWAP down here. There's 2 anchored VWAPs. We tagged them. You also had this this pivot, key pivot back here. So I was looking at, I was just looking back here, assuming we could come in and test the bottom of this. V bottom, you did and bounced perfectly off of this anchored. I wasn't here to call this one. I missed it, or I missed the move after the fact. But it did come in. It didn't quite hit 310. I would say if I was giving myself a call on this one, I'd say I was about 50% right. As far as once we broke down, we did break down, and we came into that 313, and then a little bit of a pop. Flagged out, you broke the lows, and we didn't come all the way down. We did technically come into 310, so I give myself partial credit on this one. We did come into the 310s. I didn't have an exact level, but V bottom then platform, the 2 minute 200 simple 200 caught up to you. We'll see what happens tomorrow in the name, but that was a look in Meta. I liked Meta. It was typed out a little bit quick. The miss of the day for me was AMD. I watched it, but I didn't type it, and I was looking at this at the top of the range, and I told CT, and I just wish I don't always do earnings, so after the fact, but when it failed to catch a bid at the open and it sold off this high, I might have shorted this once or twice. No comment. For a little bit, scalps as it started breaking down, but this name broke down hard and just flat. This I shorted this and CT shorted this little break here as you're bear flagging below the 2-minute 200, and it just came down. I didn't catch this whole move. I sold and I was trading Nvidia and some other things, so I was more focused on them. But dang, this was the winner of the day if you're talking about a name that just went down. So I don't get any credit for this at all. I'm just saying it was a fun name. You're at the bottom of the range now. If you look left, you gave all that up right away. I would pretty much just fib this move and say any pop into 313.50 is a short for me. If somehow you get back up in there, I think this name's probably going down. You almost already triggered on the hourly to the short side, so anything through 3.9 tomorrow, I'd be looking for a move into 304 and $100. I think this name can really come in hard if you break this level tomorrow. So I'm going to be watching AMD tomorrow, 308, 310, possible short if the market continues. Any consolidation to the upside, as long as you don't get above the 50% retracement of this move over the next day or two, I'd look for a short to set up around 13, 14, possibly even sooner as $12, and just a rollover all the way down to 104 and 100. So Kelly said fade is a fade. Yeah, I didn't hear them say that. If the context maybe was Tesla, Kelly says a fade is a trade back to the last close, and Geronimo said a fade was a drop from the closing pivot. Well, Geronimo's tired. Generally when Geronimo says fade, I think he means the same thing as Kelly, like Tesla, on Tesla. If he's saying, hey, we're going to fade this name, I think a lot of times you hear fade, you just mean go down, like this name's just going to fade all day. I think Geronimo was probably just tired. I could be wrong, unless he always says that, because yeah, he's swamped. He's in the middle of moving. He doesn't have like stuff set up in his house. He's barely getting any sleep. He's got a family. He's dealing with, us idiots sometimes, and the room and all this kind of stuff. So you just, I don't know what he was saying, but if I say a fade, I mean back to the median. So just in case like anybody ever says, if I said, hey, look, I'm looking to fade Tesla, it's gapping down. I think this is a fade and crap, or a gap and go. Like if we're gapped in a direction, I say I'm going to fade this name, means I think it's coming back into the median. If we gap down and I'm looking for a fade, I'm looking to fade it back into the 21, the 200, the gap. It's a fade in the direction of yesterday's close. If I say, if we're opened up flat and I'm like, I'm going to fade this name all day, that's something else. Like, I think it's just context matters. Like if we opened up flat and I said, I think Tesla and the market's going to fade all day today, going into FOMC or something, I think we're going to fade. To me, that's different context, and that means you're just going to fade and go down slowly or something. But a fade back into the level on a gap is how I always interpret the term fade. So yeah, that's what I think. Me and you are on the same page. I'd have to ask Geronimo. I think he's just probably tired. I know Kelly's on the same page there too. So I think, unless you guys got anything for me, that's it. I'm gonna go watch an episode of something with the wife and chill for a little bit, relax, get ready and go to bed, try to get some sleep. Hopefully I can get more than a few hours tonight, and then get back at it tomorrow. A lot of good setups today, good stuff in the market. I'm glad that we had this break. We could have, or this breakdown, this flush out of a range. This is what I'm talking about when I say that there's, you're welcome, Jacob Kahn. When I say that you're consolidating, you break out of that consolidation, you get this big move, and you make your month 2 days into the month. So, if you wait and you're patient, stuff like this can come. Now we'll see if we get follow through. We could get a day of consolidation. I'm not going to take anything heavy tomorrow, and then we'll go from there. Maybe we follow through. I don't know. Charts will tell me in the morning. thanks, guys. Love you guys. Appreciate you hanging out, spending your evening with me. And I will see you all tomorrow in Discord, Zoom call, and all that. And then, Lord willing, if I got time tomorrow night, I will hop on. I'll throw in Discord what time I think I'll be on. And then I'll post to everybody when I actually go live. So appreciate you guys. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great evening.